'Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me loyalty. 'Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.
Hello guys, so today I'm going to review A Knock at a Cabin. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this movie for M. Night Shyamalan movie because you know his catalogue sometimes you've got good movies like The Signs, Unbreakable, Split, then you have bad ones like After Earth, The Happening, but you know it's kind of funnier to watch though for how bad it is. And yeah, Avatar, like probably his worst movie. My god. It truly disrespects Avatar: The Last Airbender, man. Like, oh my god, that movie was awful in the dialogue. Yeah, because this movie sometimes has some dialogue where I'm just like, what? But it's mostly good dialogue for once. Kind of like, you know, on Unbreakable with Samuel Jackson, like he had some of those classic quotes, man. And this movie has some good, you know, dialogue as well. So that's a good thing. That's already a good plus for the movie. Yeah, when I was watching it, instead of just having like this really unrealistic, unhuman dialogue that you just get in M. Night Shyamalan's movies. So yeah, that's another good thing. I guess the little girl actor, she does an okay job. Because sometimes M. Night Shyamalan kind of makes his like basically the kids in his movies are like adults, like especially in The Signs. Like, oh my god, it's just so weird sometimes. Like that, like the flipping adults, man. Like when they're talking, like what the hell? If you've watched The Signs, you know what I mean. Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I'd definitely say I'd recommend it. Definitely check it out. Because, yeah. Because M. Night Shyamalan, it's like hit or miss with his movies. Even with some of his good movies, then you might not like them. But then others will. Or majority might will. And then when it comes to some of the bad ones, like Lady in the Water or Lake. But I actually enjoyed that one. Like, I know a lot of people don't like that one, but for me, I actually like it. And it's kind of like a cult following for that movie anyway. And that was one of the ones that I actually enjoyed. When I tried to watch Glass finally after 4 years, when it came out, I waited like 4 years later to finally watch it. Like I rewatched Unbreakable, Split, and then when I watched Glass, I was like, oh man. I guess people was right about this movie. It was disappointing. It's mainly just the ending that let me down, and just them being, well, if you've watched the movie, you already know what happens, so I don't really have to say anything. But yeah. We'll talk about this movie anyway. So basically, you get introduced to this little girl who likes collecting grasshoppers, and she likes to name them and stuff. So that already makes us like it basically shows her innocence. And then you know you get introduced to, but yeah, Dave Bautista's in this. yeah, actually, he's trying to do more serious roles than his comedic role in Guardians of the Galaxy, as Drax, which. I guess we all know that's probably going to be the last time he plays as that character. And he's probably happy that he's done with that character now. I mean, Marvel's just getting bad right now. I just hope Guardians 3 is at least a good movie. Because it's going to be the last movie for a lot of the Guardians, man. We're probably not going to see Peter Quill anymore. Drax. I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do with this different timeline Gamora. I don't even know what to call her. Because it's not the real Gamora to me. Like I don't know what's going to happen with a lot of characters by the end of Guardians 3. Like, are they going to make Adam Warlock the new leader and stuff? But basically, yeah. He's just tried to do a more serious role, Dave Bautista, in this. And I'd say he mostly does a good job. Sometimes he goes a bit too far, like, if trying to be serious. But I'd say he does a decent job, yeah. I mean, he's not, like, my favourite actor in this movie. It's like one of the other characters. I think, was it Andrew? And, yeah, he definitely does a really good job. He's probably, like, the best character in this movie. You know, with him having conflict with... Bautista mostly about these people who are just like coming into his house and just holding him prisoner, saying that he has to do some kind of destiny thing with his family. Yeah, which if you've seen the trailer, you kind of know what happens. Like you get the gist of it basically, with what happens. Basically a little girl sees Dave Bautista, has a little chat with him. He seems nice, but then you just see like a group of his people come in, and then they just basically hold the whole family prisoner. Saying that, like, one of you have to sacrifice yourself to save the world, which they showed in the trailer. Because, yeah, I'll let you know when I'm going to talk about spoilers with how the movie actually ends, and if this prophecy is actually true or not. But yeah. So yeah, definitely an interesting group. I like how you have basically Ronald Weasley in this as well from Harry Potter, and then there's these two other characters who I guess are interesting. They kind of let you know that they have family that they're trying to protect for this situation that's going on, and Dave Bautista kind of gives a little bit of backstory of, like, with the people that he's trying to help too. Because I guess the whole world kind of is all held on this family's shoulders, and if they don't make the decision, it seems like the world's going to end. And I just kind of like what they do with that premise, compared to The Happening. The Happening was just like it was terribly done. Like, even it gets to a point where you're seeing like kids die, you don't care, man. Like, just because they make them assholes, and when they actually die, you just like. Sometimes some people might even laugh at that. It's just the way how M. Night Shyamalan filmed The Happening was so terrible. This is just so much more better because he's had so much more experience at this point, and you can sometimes kind of tell that he's going a bit too far sometimes. But it's, for the most part, it's actually. He handles this movie and this situation in the movie pretty well. And I gotta give him that. Yeah. So yeah. So if I'm gonna rate this movie, it's between 7.6, 7.8. It's an enjoyable movie. It's not too long. It's just 1 hour and 30 minutes. Well, 1 hour and 33, but if you're not really counting credits and stuff, yeah, probably a bit shorter. Like maybe 1 hour and 28. But yeah, it's a really enjoyable movie. And I definitely recommend it. And if you've already watched the movie, I guess I'm going to get into spoilers now. So, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so the spoilers. So yeah, basically, where should I start with this? So yeah, like I said, you kind of get introduced to they basically tell their life story about, what they did. And you kind of find out that it's just basically ordinary people. Like, Dave Bautista's character is just like a teacher who looks after kids. I can't remember what Ronald Weasley is again. Yeah. But I just know he doesn't like his job, really. He just seems like an asshole. And then it kind of connects to a previous event with these characters from before, which I'll get to. And then there's that, is it Sabrina? The black lady? Like, she's like a nurse or something. She's been like a nurse for like 5 years. And yeah, she's basically used her life savings to get to this area because basically she does have family that she cares about, and just having visions of this situation, which I guess all of them have had visions that the world's going to end and have literally seen how it ends. So they want to be able to stop it by making one of these family members kill each other. Yeah. Because that's really the only way to stop it. And the more time they don't do it, the more like one of them will have to kill themselves, and like a big disaster happens in the whole world. Yeah. Also, there's that other one. Is it Andrin? I can't remember her name properly, but yeah, she has like a son that she's trying to protect as well. So, that's her motive to make them do what they have to do, their sacrifice. So basically, one by one, we kind of see Ronald Weasley, die, like put like some fill on their face, and then like Batista just basically chops their head off or smash their head, while they're saying some kind of thing to do with the prophecy. Yeah, we call it prophecy. And I guess it starts off as like, because this guy, you seem like an arsehole, and basically you just see like Ronald Weasley and him, Eric, is it Eric, the angry one? Like, he basically had a bar fight with him, and just the dialogue in that scene, it was so funny.
Your seat. Fuck you.
Fuck you. That's just so funny, because that's what Ronald Weasley basically, because he recognizes him in the bar, but I guess that kind of had like an argument because he was being too loud, and he just goes like "fuck you," like that dialogue, man. It's just like, that just made me laugh so much. Fuck you. But yeah, as the movie goes on, you just kind of see them trying to convince them that they need to do this, otherwise, bad things will happen. But one of them, Eric, he seems like he's starting to listen. While Andrew, he's just like truly not really believing them. Like, he just thinks they're lying, to the point where he actually kills one of them, Sabrina, the black lady, because she tries to attack him to get back in the house. Because he kind of is able to get to his car and get a gun, and he ends up shooting her, and he's got his gun pointed at Batista. And then that's when the little girl just tries to get away, that they end up subduing him, and that's when we get to the final part. Because it gets to a point where they've seen like all these disasters happen. Like it starts off with like, I guess a little earthquake, but no one dies, just like property damage. And then it gets to like a huge, tidal wave coming and thousands of people die. Then planes start falling from the sky, millions. And you know what's going to happen at the end. Billions will probably die if they don't, do what they have to do. So yeah. Because like by the end, like you just see Dave Bautista like kill himself while basically warning them what they have to do. This is like your final chance, and by him killing himself gives them like a few more minutes to finally come to terms with what they have to do, because Eric, he gets to a point where he's just like accepting of the situation and just try to think of like a happy future for his little girl that he adopted and his boyfriend Andrew. And then, so in his last moments he's able to think of something nice. Wow, you just see Andrew struggling to pull the trigger, because man, just that last scene was pretty good, man. That's probably the first time I've actually seen a scene where I'm pretty sad for a gay couple, man. Yeah, because I don't like that scene was just so well done. Like M. Night Shyamalan did a really good job. Also that one scene with M. Night Shyamalan with that when I turned on the TV, and I was like, really? You really doing that? Like, I was thinking like, you're just making us see M. Night Shyamalan like that. Like, they didn't even skip the channel, because that was the one channel. It was even like the news channel. They just kept it on for like seconds, just letting you know like, yeah, that's a M. Night Shyamalan cameo for like 20 seconds instead of just like a 2-3 second moment. Like, we get it. It's like a little cameo for M. Night Shyamalan, but it just went on a bit too long. Yeah. But yeah, just that final scene, man. He has to make that hard decision. It was so well acted. Yeah, it was pretty good. And then just seeing like them, all the possible future they could have. So that's when he decides to do it, even though it's hard for him, because they used to like listen to this song on the radio. I'm just trying to get to the scene anyway, because yeah, the movie ends pretty well. I mean, you even get to see like Adriano, I don't know how you say her name, but yeah, you get to see her kid, showing that there was trying to tell the truth the whole time, but for most of the movie they didn't really believe him. So probably by the end, when they've stopped the disaster, they probably go to like the family members to let them know what happened to him, and then they just try to live their life without their loved one. And yeah, it's a bittersweet ending. But like I said, like you kind of hear like on the radio station the song they used to listen to all together. So at the end, like they keep turning it on and off because they don't want to think of that moment right now, because they kind of lost. Well, basically the little girl lost her dad, and Andrew lost his the love of his life. Yeah, and it kind of sucks. He had to, he had to end that way. I mean, I wasn't sure how the movie was gonna end. I was thinking like it was gonna be like a dark ending where they actually, like Andrew actually shoots his well, I don't know if it's his husband, but boyfriend, and then the world still ends anyway. That'd be such a messed up ending. Like maybe it was too late or something, or they decide not to do it, and then the whole world ends, and you just see them, trying to survive together. Like, what have we done? Like that kind of ending. Yeah. Just imagine those kind of endings. But I guess they ended it the best they could. Yeah, because basically, if you think about it, still a lot of people died because they took so long to decide. But in that moment, what would you do? You're not going to listen to these random people saying that the world's going to end, and one of you have to die to stop it. Like one of your family members have to die to stop this from happening. And they're basically showing you on the news that like all these disasters are happening. Yeah, you're not really going to believe them at first, man. Yeah, but then there's a chance that they might not even survive if the world ends. So, the little girl who they adopted would end up dying too. Yeah, so they had to make the hard decision. But yep, that's pretty much how it ends. They basically stopped the apocalypse from happening, and they kind of left with them two on their own, trying to possibly start a new life, because like their cabin gets destroyed in like a fire from the apocalypse. Because basically those 4 characters who was trying to convince them was basically the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and that just kind of ties in well together when you find out about that. Yeah, makes more sense because of each of their personalities and what the four horsemen of the apocalypse represent. Yeah, because it was all trying to be nice to him. I mean, one of them, Ronald Weasley, was just kind of an asshole, but yeah, but was trying the best, even to the point where they're sacrificing themselves to help him live a bit longer until they make the right choice. So yeah, probably millions did die in this movie until they finally made the right choice, but at least it wasn't billions like everyone. Yeah. But yeah, really good movie. I really enjoyed it. So yep, I guess I'll just end it here. Appreciate if you can leave a like. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.